What is up, people of the internet? Hope everyone is doing well. Sorry, that is my pen dropping. Guys, I've been doing some mental games with myself, doing a lot of stuff that is challenging for me and challenging for my mind. So I've been in that journey. I've been reading books on the mind. We've already discussed this one in the previous video, The Genius Within. I've got a couple more books to discuss. How am I going to show these three? I can't even. The Brain Manual, The Brain That Changes Itself, and Other Minds. Guys, we're going to talk about this book, The Brain That Changes Itself, by Norman Dudig. Duidege? By Norman. This book by Norman. Okay, guys, so right off the bat, this was my favorite book to read of the four. I think it was the most important. It has the most useful information, the best stories, and it was the most insightful. The Genius Within was just a book about saying your brain functions off of chemicals and electricity, and you can use electricity and chemicals to alter it. Which is cool. I really enjoyed the book. It was a cool story, but it wasn't as informative. This thing is like the Bible of books. Okay, it's all about neuroplasticity and how the brain can change itself, where it can change itself, and it gives a whole bunch of cool stories of people who have changed their brains. Guys, I'm going to give a lot of resources actually from this book. Oh, and by the way, there's like, this book was 300 pages, and 100 pages over and above that are just acknowledgements and references. So there's a whole bunch of information in this book. I'll definitely read it again. Just by like, when I was looking at the notes that I was making for this book, I was like, oh yeah, shit, this is a cool story, this was cool, this not so. Yeah, I got a lot of good takeaways from it. And just like going over it again, I was like, ah, man, I need to read it once more. And that's all I have to say about this book. I'm just kidding. Okay, so some things that, let's do some takeaways from this book. So the whole premise of the book is that the brain can change itself. The concept is called neuroplasticity, and it's all about how and I'm sure you've heard of neuroplasticity, even if it's not in the formal term, but you hear people that are blind and then their hearing is amazing, or one sense is down and another sense is is used to compensate for this. And they discuss those use cases, those stories within this book. Some of the big ones are how this woman had a real problem with her vestibular system. It's basically a stabilizing system for you guys. So you know how you use your eyes and your ears to kind of keep balance, and she just could not get that right. There's a Google talk, I'm going to link it in the description. So it's a huge story, and if she's brought into Google to discuss this, you know it's a big deal. She also started a school for it, the Arrowhead School. I don't know what the name was, but the video will be in the description, guys. Take a look at that if you want. It's like an hour long though. But she basically couldn't balance herself, and there was this guy, Paul Bacurita, a Mexican neuroscientist, and he's been trying to see how they can use brain plasticity to help people. One of his big premises is that we do not use our eyes to see or our ears to hear, stuff like that. We use our brain to see, we use our brain to hear, and it's just these senses, like sensors rather, like our eyes and ears, are just inputs into the brain. I'll also link a video from this Paul dude, where he shows how people can see using their skin, using information sent to their tongue. It's crazy shit. As you guys can tell, I like this book. There's a lot of cool stuff in it. I'll also give at the end of the video a couple takeaways that this book showed me, so that you can help with the neuroplasticity in your own brain, how you can improve it and change your brain into something better, something that worries less, something that is maybe has better sight, maybe has better hearing, and yeah. More stories in this book, guys. He speaks about how brain-derived neurotropic factor, which I will link another video to. I think the channel is called What I Learned. It's all about exercising and how exercise increases this brain-derived neurotropic factor, and how that can get you to become more intelligent even. So he gives some cool stories about sexuality and how that is influenced by within our childhood, and how you can overcome those sexualities, or some of those maybe, what is the word we're looking for? I will cut and edit that word into this video, but it's about how to manage your sexuality. He's looking at even like pornography and addiction, and how there's just watching porn releases dopamine, and the more porn you watch, the less dopamine you produce. So the more porn you begin to watch to get that dopamine, and then you start watching all kinds of crazy ass porn, because now you're just like, you need a hit of dopamine, and the usual shit doesn't do it, the length doesn't do it. So now you start going into some crazy porno videos, guys. That was also a funny chapter, man. So even though it's a serious book, there was some funny stuff. There's some funny stuff that happens in this book. Quick summaries. Neurons that fire together wire together. That's just to say how things reinforce each other. And then there's the opposite of that, which is neurons that fire apart, wire apart. And that's just how you can almost like use negative reinforcement, the opposite to reinforcement, to de-link and destabilize things. And that is something very important for people with OCD. So if you have OCD, a big thing is to take that compulsion that you have, and the worry that you have, and the act that you do against it, and not take that action. So let's say you want to wash your hands every day. Just start washing your hands less and less. Do something pleasurable, but not porn, okay? Because that can be a slippery slope for you. You can get addicted to that. But do something pleasurable and meaningful instead of the usual compulsive act. And that continuous loop of the worry, or whatever, I'm losing words here. Whatever creates that compulsion for the OCD, whenever you get it, you breaking that habit of trigger, I'm gonna wash my hands, to trigger, I'm gonna listen to a good song. It kind of wires your neurons to start saying, okay, every time I feel this, every time I have this trigger, I hate these fucking birds, guys. I'm gonna carry on, because I don't know how loudly you can hear them. These fucking hottie-dogs, man, they are fucking everywhere, and they are all over my place, and it's like mating season. These guys are going nuts. Anyway, back to my point, which I have actually forgotten. Yes, OCD and worries, guys, fire together, wire together. Take your compulsive act, break it with doing a different act that's more pleasurable. For example, listening to music. That's a good one. And as you do it over time, over a long period of time, you'll start to wire those neurons together. And because neurons that wire apart, fire apart, those neurons that previously fired and made you want to wash your hands will slowly but surely get away. But there's more things about OCD in this book, guys, so that's also another reason to read it. They talk about OCD, they talk about phantom limbs, how when people get their arms chopped off, they can still feel their arm, see their arm, feel like they're moving their arm. There was a cool story about how people have very limited mobility, and just through visualization, they can start getting more mobility. No, you fucking birds! Fuck you all! Oh man. People need to start eating hottie-dogs. We need to start eating Haagen-Dazs. Maybe we should kill these fuckers, fry them up, do some KFH, okay? Whatever KFC is something something chicken. This is something something Haagen-Dazs. These damn birds. Messing with my shit. But I don't care. I'm gonna carry on. Guys, yeah, so there's phantom limbs that he's talking about in here. He's talking about how visualization, just if you're learning to play an instrument or even for boxing, just visualizing yourself doing those moves, performing those actions will provide a remarkable improvement. So he had like a study about people learning to play the piano. Actually, let's disclaimer, I don't know if it's in this book, but I remember as part of reading this book I went onto this tangent where I learned this. There was people learning to play a piano. People went for 7 days about like physically playing the piano. Another group of people only visualized themselves playing the piano, and at the end of that week they both played the piano equally good or equally bad. Because how good can you get at something in a week, right? But yeah, guys, lots of cool stuff in this book. It was my favorite of the whole 4 that I've read. Yeah, these motherfucking birds! Gotta love them, man. Gotta love the Haagen-Dazs. The ugliest fucking thing in the world. These damn birds. And they're fucking like crazy now. I see nests all over the place. They are just getting at it. So yeah, guys, read the book. It was very cool. I'm definitely going to read it again, just because researching it for you guys now to do this video, I was like piqued. My curiosity was piqued. And that's about it for this video. I've got 2 more books that I'll review on the brain, and then I'll talk about something else. I don't know what. That's 4 weeks away, which is like my 90-day challenge ends in like 6 weeks, guys. I am crushing it. It's really helping me to think exponentially, this 90-day challenge. If you guys don't know, if you're just joining to watch me, I am training twice a day, every day for 90 days straight, except on weekends now. For the past, this is the 3rd weekend now, I do 3 exercises a day. So Saturday I work out 3 times, Sunday I work out 3 times. It's basically 1 hour of gym, 35 minutes of running, and then another hour of gym. And it's helped me like think exponentially, because another thing about the brain is like we think very linearly. We're not very good at thinking exponential, and this whole thing is like crazy, because if you just work out twice a day every day for 90 days, you've done 180 workouts, guys. That's more than most people do in a fucking year. Okay, so in 90 days, in 3 months, you do more than what someone does in a year, kind of. So I am breaking my body though. This is, oh guys, it's my last, look at this. This is my antibiotics. I don't know, this is gonna be my last one. I've been sick for the whole month, guys. Taking cold showers has destroyed me. It's destroyed my body. I'm very sore, so I'm just over halfway done with this 90-day challenge. Results are going well. I will make a video about this where you guys can look at my damn sexy body. Actually, funny story, I was at the gym, I did abs. Abs are looking really good because of my diet, not because of how much I work them out, even though I do work them out quite well. And so I was flexing, because fuck, dude, if you work out, there is some vanity to it, okay? I don't give a shit. Yeah, you should work out just for your health and mobility of your body, but it's also like, when I look at myself in the mirror, I'm like, god damn it, looks good. Anyway, I was flexing in that mirror, and someone saw me flexing, and they literally stopped, they walked back and looked at me, and then they carried on. And I was like, yeah, bitch, that's right, you know who's looking good here. So it's a good confidence booster as well, guys. Forgot how that I have to give. I'm gonna have to fit it in here somewhere. I forgot to give you guys the extra tips for how to increase neuroplasticity. God damn it. I'm gonna blame it on these damn birds, these noisy motherfuckers. Anyways, guys, like, comment, subscribe. I'll do a weekly video about something to improve yourself with, whether it's mental, physical, or learning. And that's it. Cheers. Okay guys, I don't know where this is gonna fit in this video editing. It might be random as shit, but here's some things that from this book that I learned that helps with neuroplasticity and getting that brain that much better, maintaining it and improving it. One is exercise. Yeah, you should watch that video on exercise and BDNF, how very important they are. And it's on a cool YouTube channel, so go there and subscribe to that stuff. Exercise is very important. Second is visualizing. Again, just like that thing with the piano where you can visualize yourself practicing, just visualizing yourself practicing whatever you are doing really helps. And I've done this, I do this all the time for boxing, and I do it all the time, or used to do it all the time for playing the drums. But now it's just very time consuming and noisy as shit. But it's definitely very beneficial. I've used it a lot. I still use it. I visualize a lot for boxing. A lot. Especially with footwork. Even when I'm not shadow boxing, I will just think about doing it. And just from that, my feet just know where to go. They become much faster, much more flexible and nimble. Although my foot is fucked as shit. I've just destroyed my left foot. I don't know what it's called. Where the heel of your foot is just, the nerves are broken. I have that, and it's been like that for like 2 weeks, guys. I've tried, I don't know what I've tried to get rid of it. Massaging, spraying myself with like deep freeze, rubbing myself with deep heat, which is like the opposite of deep freeze, stretching. It's just fucked. I think it's, when I finish this challenge, I'm gonna just take like a week off to like let it chill, and then I'll go ham again, because I'm enjoying this 90-day challenge thing. Then meditate. Number 3 is meditate. Guys, just calming yourself down, reducing the anxiety of your brain, letting your brain focus and improving that focus really helps with your brain. It's also cool when you meditate. Like for me, a big thing is I like feel my heart. Literally, I can feel the pulse in my heart every time. I can feel it in my chest, in my stomach, in my hands, in my throat, sometimes even in my legs, depending on how strong that throbbing is. It's a good way to get in touch with your physical senses, but also improve focus, which helps a lot with neuroplasticity. Practice, guys. You gotta practice shit. You wanna get better at something, you practice on it continuously, deliberate practice. Don't just keep doing the same thing over and over again, and that'll help with neuroplasticity. There's this thing called myelin, a myelin sheath, which between neurons there are, oh man, I don't know the technical terms for this right now, but basically myelin coats, I think, the axons that connect to the other neurons, and the thicker that coating, the thicker that insulation, the better the electricity flows through those axons to other neurons through the neurotransmitters. And the last one is decoupling. So that's like with OCD. Guys, fuck, this is a long video as well. God damn it. Anyway, decouple neurons that wire apart, fire apart. Or that fire apart, wire apart. That's the one I'm looking for. When you have something like you have like OCD, or you're very anxious all the time, stuff like this, try to be cognizant of it and start to break that habit. If you wake up and you have a cigarette, wake up and drink a cup of water. Decoupling those two really helps to wire apart those neurons. And that's it. That's the tips I have for you guys. And here's my last antibiotic. Fucking the whole of June I've been sick, guys. The whole of June. And I've still been working out like a motherfucking boss. So I can't wait for July. It's my birthday month, and it's gonna be good because I'm gonna be healthy as fuck. Hopefully, god damn it. Hopefully we'll be healthy, and then I'm just gonna bust it out even more. I've been training very hard. Happy with the results, and it's only like just over halfway. So I cannot imagine the ending, but I will show it to you. I'm gonna be flexing my muscles, flexing the guns. What is up, beautiful people of the internet? Scratchy eyes, scratchy face. Are we gonna start into the fucking video like this? No, we're not. This is going straight to blooper reel. Final antibiotic goes down the drain. And that's it, guys. That is all. Hopefully now I'm not sick anymore. Oh, funny story about these antibiotics. They make me so nauseous, guys. It's fucking disgusting. And then I start burping and I can feel like the bile or you know your gallbladder releases bile or whatever it's called. And then I throw that shit up and then I swallow that shit right back in. And at the beginning when I first started these things, I was like, that's disgusting. But now I have this thing, I'm just like, oh, that's delicious. It's not delicious ever, but it happens so much and it's just a way of dealing with the nausea and shit, and it's like changing my mind about it. And that's it. That is all I have for today. Cheers, beautiful people. Cheers.